Well, we'll get to hear more information on that as the days go by. But for now, let's keep you abreast with the latest stories outside of Nigeria. Up next is Africa Report. You watch Breakfast Central. In 2019, SADC member countries made a decision to rally behind Zimbabwe in its campaign against sanctions imposed in the country by the Western world. The summit of heads of state and government of the Southern African Development Community, otherwise known as SADC, declared 25th October as a day for SADC to campaign as a region for the unconditional removal of sanctions imposed on the Republic of Zimbabwe.
Today, SADC countries once again rally behind Zimbabwe and its people in the call for the removal of sanctions. Now, this year's commemorations come at a time when the U.S. Special Rapporteur Alena Dohan is in the country for a 10-day tour to assess the impact of sanctions. We're now joined by our Zimbabwean correspondent, Lala Ngwenya. Lala, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Aluchi. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to you.
Morning. So the commemorations this year are running under the theme "Friend to all, enemy to none," forging ahead and enhancing innovation and productivity in adversity of sanctions. So what the government is saying here is that, okay, though we've had sanctions for the greater part of the 20th century, we have managed to forge through. We have managed to create employment. And when they talk about employment, basically they are talking about the informal sector, which up to date has created over 1.6 million jobs for individuals. Okay. However, the government is also concerned about some of the damage that sanctions have done in the country. For example, the Minister of the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Minister Ziyambi, mentioned something quite interesting. He mentioned that in 1998, the Zimbabwean government had purchased 1,500 Land Rover Defenders vehicles for the Zimbabwe Republic Police to use. And when sanctions were imposed, the United Kingdom had only delivered 500 of those vehicles. And up to date, the balance of 1,000 vehicles is still outstanding. They haven't delivered those vehicles. And this is, part of the whole sanctions upon the country. And also the government has mentioned issues of negativity towards Zimbabwe created by the sanctions, and how Zimbabwe has been viewed negatively, actually, out internationally. And this has affected Zimbabwe in getting financial help when it comes to issues to do with agricultural financing and inputs. And this has really affected even food production when it comes to Zimbabwe.
That's interesting. So, Lala, let me also ask this question. We've seen other countries rally behind Zimbabwe. Take, for instance, ZANU-PF, South Africa there. They've come out to say that this must happen. What's the atmosphere like right there in Zimbabwe? Does it look like it is almost certain?
Zimbabwe and the government and Zimbabweans, of course, those Zimbabweans that are against the sanctions. Remember, there are two.
Okay, we seem to have some connectivity issues this Monday morning, but I'm sure we'll be able to connect back to Lala, who is our correspondent out there in Zimbabwe, breaking it down for us and letting us know that today is SADC a day, a very special one out there in Zimbabwe. So if you are a Zimbabwean, I'm sure that you are actually looking forward to this day and you really want to know what effect it has, especially for your country.
Now, Joe, I keep trying to call you Olisa.
Don't try that.
This is Joe that we have to. So, Joe, this is a day that was accepted in the year 2019 when they had the 39th summit. That's the SADC heads of state. They came together and they had a summit and they said, okay, you know what? We need to keep a day to do or to have a solidarity to show support for Zimbabwe so that these international sanctions can be removed by the Western countries. So it's been what, 2019, 2020, this is 2021. So 3 years consistently of ensuring that they stand by Zimbabwe to show support for these sanctions to be removed totally.
Well, let's bring Lala back on before we go at the end of this top story. But let's listen to Lala first of all. Lala, I understand that you're back, so tell us more.
Okay, so hi Joe. Yes, I'm back. Please, can you repeat the question again?
Okay, so we were looking at the atmosphere right there in Zimbabwe and what Zimbabweans are expecting that this would actually mean for them.
Okay, so as I was saying, there seems to be two camps in the country. There are people that are against sanctions imposed in the country. Then there are those that are saying, no, the sanctions should stay on. Obviously, these are obviously people from the opposition political parties who say that these sanctions were targeted or are targeted at certain individuals. But history and the way things have turned out for Zimbabwe in the past 20 years show that even though some of the sanctions may be targeted at individuals, they go down to affect the ordinary Zimbabweans. For example, what I mentioned earlier about the Zimbabwe Republic Police not getting what it purchased in 1998 due to sanctions. So that shows that these sanctions have affected a whole institute that has sort of affected its mobilization, when they move around, when they are called for when their crimes are happening and they are not able to move around and go and attend to these crimes and situations on time. So right now, today, there are going to be marches, there are going to be music galas, all in solidarity with this. And President Nyangadu, he's going to lead the commemorations by addressing the nation. And during these commemorations, they are going to also play pre-recorded messages from fellow SADC member states leaders who are also, in solidarity and are rallying behind Zimbabwe on this campaign against sanctions in Zimbabwe.
Right. Thank you so much, Lala Ngwenya, reporting all the way from Zimbabwe. We hope Zimbabweans are pretty excited and we're hopeful the sanctions will be lifted.
Thank you.